Hello, gamer family, and well, that time has finally come. Wave 6 is out, and it's been out for a little bit, so it's time to get my final Booster Course Pass Wave ranking! Woo! Yeah, let's do it! Anyways, I'm gonna miss doing these videos and all, but let's just get right in. Number 8. For number 8, I gotta go Tour Plant Cove. It's worth noting, well, I don't think Wave 6 reaches all the highs of Wave 5 for me personally, as I do think the best tracks of Wave 5 are still better than all of Wave 6. Wave 6 is very consistent with how good its tracks are. There are no stinkers. They're all great additions to the game. But there has to be a weak link, and that's Piranha Plant Cove, without a doubt. Out of the two Piranha Plant tracks, I do think this was the wrong one to bring back, sadly. Number 7, 3DS Rosalina's Ice World. Now, this track was a huge surprise, and I'm very grateful for it to be here. Is it the 3DS track that I would have chosen? No, just like how Piranha Plant Cove wasn't the Piranha Plant track I would have chosen, this is not the 3DS track I would have chosen. If I got to do Wave 6 myself, it would have been Piranha Plant Pipeline and Wario Shipyard in these two slots, personally, but it's also my own bias. This track is good. I think it's one of the weaker 3DS tracks, but just the sheer fact that we're having another 3DS track is great, and I think Mario Kart 7 has one of the most underrated track selections, period. The music also sounds surprisingly good here, and I know I, back in the day, rated this as my least favorite Mario Kart 7 track. I was wrong. It's not my favorite, but it's not the worst track from that game. And in fact, it's a good track. Number 6, Tour Madrid Drive. It's great, but I don't understand why it's in the Final Cup. It's a relatively easy city track, and frankly, I actually would have switched it with Athens. But that's besides the point. Great music, great visuals, but at the same time, it's just a little boring compared to Rome. It's not a bad city track. It's one of my favorites. As I do feel like it stands out thanks to things like the museum, the stadium, the Wiggler section, and the music. It definitely stands out, but it definitely isn't my favorite either. Number 5, GCN DK Mountain. I know I'm gonna get flanked hardcore for this, but I've never been a huge DK Mountain guy. It's a good track, don't get me wrong, but I've always found it a tad overrated. Now, obviously, I've enjoyed playing it today. It's a great track, and I'm glad it's here, but I also would have rather Dino Jungle. And I know I'm in the minority for that. It's a great track, though. Don't get me wrong. It's just not my favorite of this wave. Number 4, Tour Rome Avanti. It's not my favorite city track, but it's my second favorite. If I could go back and redo my Wave 5 ranking, I'd fix the sin that I made of putting Athens as my least favorite city track. What was I on? And I don't see this list aging like milk, like my Wave 5 one did. I genuinely love Rome. It's always stuck out to me so well. Like, obviously, the individual pieces of Madrid and Tour, I think, were better than the individual pieces of Rome. But Rome is one track. It just feels good to me to play. I just love playing on it. Plus, it looks gorgeous, and it sounds gorgeous. I just love this track. I love its presentation. I love racing on it. It's such a delightful track for me. Number 3, Wii Daisy Circuit. Now, I still think that we did not need Daisy Circuit in the Booster Course Pass. I still think it was a superfluous addition, and we didn't need another Wii track. That being said, Daisy Circuit is still a phenomenal track. Now, obviously, I remember when I made, like, community posts and, like, in my reaction video, I was like, Daisy Circuit. And obviously, like, I stand by how I reacted of like, we did not need Daisy Circuit. But again, to all the people who are like, oh, don't hate on Daisy Circuit, it's a great track. I do think it's a great track. I think it is a wonderful track. It's my second favorite circuit in the entire franchise, only behind DS Mario Circuit. But I still would have rathered that we got another DS or N64 track over it. And remember, I'm saying that when I'm putting this number 3 on Wave 6. I wish we got another game instead of Daisy Circuit. I love this track, but we didn't need it. Number 2, SNES Bowser Castle 3. You know, I didn't expect to be ranking this track so high. I expected it to be one of the lowest of this wave. Obviously, I played this when it came on tour. I thought, oh, yeah, it's a good remake. And would I still prefer GBA Bowser Castle 4? Yeah, but I'm also very biased because I absolutely adore Super Circuit. Super Circuit can do no wrong. And Bowser Castle 4 and Super Circuit is my favorite Bowser's Castle. That being said, this is easily a close second. This track is phenomenal. And when I first played this in Wave 6, I was like, oh my goodness. Why couldn't we have gotten both this and Bowser Castle 4? Like, holy cow. I am so glad we got this track. From the music to the visuals, this is a delight to look at, to play. It's amazing. And if they really were like, you only get one more Bowser Castle in Mario Kart 8, this was a good choice. Because this track slaps. Number 1. Okay, yeah. Duh. Look at the screen. You know what it is. I've never enjoyed how Mario Kart Wii played. At least when I played it. Because I never grew up with it. I never loved the controls. For the longest time, I thought this track was overrated. But then, I got to play it in a game with controls that I like. The sheer realization on my face after playing this track a couple of times in Mario Kart 8 of, oh my goodness, maybe this track isn't overrated, was incredible. I don't even know what to say. I'm still in shock from going from oh, Wii Rainbow Rose to overrated to, this is like the best thing since sliced bread, is definitely a change. And I do just think it goes to show that I just don't like how Wii plays compared to 8. And I don't know, maybe they should have just remade all 32 Wii tracks in Mario Kart 8. I'm kidding. Only the 16 Nitro tracks. Jokes aside, though. Originally, I would have rather had this in Wave 3 than 3DS Rainbow Road in this wave. But you know what? No, this is the perfect way to enter the Booster Course Pass. Is it my favorite track in the BCP? No, it isn't. But it is easily one of the best tracks in all of Mario Kart 8. Really? I'd probably only put it behind, at least in the BCP, I'd probably only like, at least in the BCP, I'd like only put it behind Maple Tree Way. I'm trying to think of another track I'd put ahead of this, but I really can't. I genuinely think this track was incredible. Anyways, that was my Wave 6 ranking. Now, really quickly, I'm going to rank all the waves to celebrate us being here. From worst to best, Wave 1. Wave 1, the highlight of it is Coconut Mall. Really, the big thing that got me excited with Wave 1 was just the fact that we were getting a DLC to Mario Kart 8. The fact that we're getting 48 more tracks. Because, while a new Mario Kart game would have been nice, I just love how Mario Kart 8 plays. So, new tracks was a win. It didn't matter to me whether it was in a new game or DLC. New tracks were new tracks, and as someone who doesn't really care for the base game tracks in 8, and when I say that, I mean the core 16 Nitros. As someone who doesn't care for the Nitro Cups in Mario Kart 8, retro tracks were the best way for me to love this game even more. But this, without doubt, has the worst track selection of the entire DLC. Yeah. No doubt in my mind about that. Wave 2 is easily the next worst one. It was an improvement in every way. I definitely think Wave 2 has some really overhated tracks in terms of Mario Circuit 3 and New York Minute. In fact, I just think the whole Turn-Up Cup in general is really underrated because it's actually really solid. Because Kalimari Desert's great. New York Minute's fine. Waluigi Pinball's great. Mario Circuit 3 is also good. That being said, the Propeller Cup just doesn't do it for me. Snowland's fine. City's really good. But I don't like Sky High Sundae. I don't. But Wave 2 is really good overall. Then I'd go with Wave 3. I remember when Wave 3 was revealed, I was like, they can't top this. They can't top this. And, well, obviously it has my favorite track in Mario Kart 8. It has Maple Tree Way. I just don't like Berry Mountain. 3DS Rainbow Road's great, but I don't love it like I used to. Peach Gardens I like way more than I ever did in the past. But hate me in the comments all you like. It should have been Airship Fortress. DS Mario Circuit was fine. It had never been brought back before. And it was at the beginning of a row. Airship Fortress is never going to be in the beginning of a row. If Airship Fortress was going to be in Booster Course Pass, it was either going to be in Wave 3. It could have been in 2, 3, 5, or 6. It was never going to be in Wave 4. So as much as I wish we had it, Peach Gardens is the one I'd replace if I had to. As much as I love the track. Berlin is great. Rock Mountain, I think, is a really underrated track, too. But, I don't know. It's a good wave, but it's a good wave. And then I'd go with Wave 4. Wave 4, to me, is the most mixed wave. It has some really, really high highs. DK Summit, Yoshi Island, Mario Circuit, and Waluigi Stadium are all top-tier tracks. They're all top-tier. But I don't really like the city tracks this wave. Even Singapore, I don't care for it. Bangkok Rush 1 is my favorite single tour track in Tour, but I just don't think as a whole Bangkok worked as well in 8. And Riverside Parks, Boo Lake's really the orderly. Boo Lake and Snowland were the orderly GBA tracks that I feel like were done justice in the BCP. Then, second best wave, Wave 6. Overall, the worst tracks of Wave 6 are better than the worst tracks of any other waves. But the best tracks are not as good as Waves 4 or 5 or Maple Tree Way. But Wave 6 is still incredible. Then my favorite wave, though, has to be Wave 5. The Feather Cup is my favorite cup in the entire game. It is literally flawless. It doesn't have a weak link. The only track in the Feather Cup not in my top 15 might be Squeaky Clean Sprint. But I'd be shocked if when I re-rank Mario Kart 8 tracks, I'd be shocked if any of them were not in my top 15. It is an incredible cup. And is the second cup nearly as good? No. But I still do like LA and Vancouver. And I think this version of Koopa Cake is way overhated. Sunset Wilds is a weak link. But just like Wave 6, the worst track in Wave 5 is better than the worst track in any other wave before it. So, yeah. Anyways, BCP. I'll make at least one more BCP video, which is how I would have made the BCP. But until then, goodbye.